Hello, guys.
Hi.
What's up?
Welcome back to our podcast.
We're so glad you're here. We're always glad you're here. When are we never glad you're here? We have personally, first of all, would like you guys to subscribe. And what do YouTubers say? Like and subscribe and comment and share with your grandma and your ex.
Everybody. Let's get ourselves to how many subscribers?
As we speak right now, as we're shooting this episode, we are like at 117.
Subscribe. You guys are so sweet. Like, I don't even.
We didn't expect this much love
at all.
If I'm being honest, I really many shock.
Yeah, I feel like that's also something we've never actually talked about.
What?
I feel like the first ever promo that we did so well. Like, you people went above and beyond our expectations. Like, mimi personally nilikuwa na feel ni kama tukienda sana. Yani, and I mean, we've done Vim, like, this is like after a week. It would have been like at around 400, 500.
Yeah.
You guys did 2,000 in
plus
a day?
In a day, 24 hours.
Guys, you guys are magical.
Show us the same love, though. I mean, you are showing us love, but like, come in numbers like that again.
Because you guys are brilliant. Like, Mimi, for me, I think, I don't know if for you it's different, because like for me, I'm not an influencer.
Am I an influencer? I think I'm like just a popular person. Because you know how I feel about the term influencer. Like, what are we influencing your lives that you already know how to live?
Don't, like, you know what? I'm not even gonna say anything. Me, I'm not a popular person. But
not like I'm blowing, but you feel like I'm blowing my own horn. You know? I've been cocky. Do you think it's cocky?
Like that was like the funniest thing when Yambia Leo. Like, hey.
But anyways, I think some of the comments that we've gotten on some of our videos is that me and Gathoni are very different. Well, we are different, but like we're the same. But like we're different.
I feel like
we're the same.
I feel like we're the same
but
person in different fonts.
It's true.
Like, I feel like emotionally, I don't want to say that we're the same.
Emotionally?
I feel like emotionally we're the same. It's just that we're different in expressing.
Yeah.
Like, the magnitude of how we'll feel that emotion will probably be the same.
Very noticeable.
Very noticeable, but like how we will handle it
it's also very... No, I feel like it's also... That one is also very noticeable. Like, mimi ukanyagia vitu. I sweep things under the rug. You are very different.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I am absolutely not a kanyagia babe.
Yeah. And I feel like that's... Our relationship dynamics, we've had to understand each other for this to work.
Yeah.
Because
like Mimi, I'm really not a kanyagia babe. Mm-hmm. But I feel like we literally could be in the same situation, feeling the same exact thing and handling it completely differently.
Yeah.
Like, Mimi, I'd be like, no, I don't like that. That's not what's supposed to be happening. Mm-hmm. Camille's like,
it is what it is.
Maybe that vocabulary does not exist in my head. What do you mean it is what it is? It can be something else if you want it to be like where.
And that's the topic for today. We're talking about... all our topics always go like, not gonna lie, it's leo tu tunaongea about attachment styles, guys. We just are exploring different attachment styles, and we're gonna give you guys or show you guys how we're differently attached to different situations in our lives.
If it can work or if it can't work.
And how it works for us too.
Yeah, I feel like the preference to before. Anyway, like before we start like this whole conversation, the whole point that we chose to talk about like attachment styles was because ever since we started doing this podcast, we've had to really learn how to communicate. You know, a lot of us tunahangama beshtewa vibes. Like, I call you when I'm happy. I might call you to go
when
out.
I'm stressed.
I'm calling like you
for different things.
But now when you're in a business, like when you're working towards a similar goal, while your communication is tested,
whether you're happy, sad, angry, tired,
you have to be over that. And I realized that how we communicate was so different because, like, for me in the beginning, okay, if you know me, you know that Mimi, I am a hi. I don't understand this. Hi, can I, like, I'm always like trying to figure out communication. I feel like Kamira is very...
why are you speaking for me?
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, like, from my experience.
Oh, okay.
Like, for you, I had to get to a place where I was understanding that, manze, mi sitashika simu yako kila saa.
Z.
And me, now Mimi, unakosa kushika simu yangu, why?
Like, and I think when we were just downstairs before we came up to shoot, I was telling her how the one boundary I'll never cross is if I don't feel like picking up your call, I will not pick it up. Whether you're dying, I'm sorry, utakome daddy by then. But like, I won't pick it up. If I'm not in a space to not do it, I won't do it.
And I feel like now this are just, like, we haven't actually started this conversation, but like this are just some of the few differences that we have.
Yeah.
Because like for me, when I consider you like one of my closest friends.
Really?
Yeah.
Ugh, we already knew that.
Bitch. So for me, you will, if you call me, even if it's 3 a.m.
I know, you'll pick up.
I will pick.
I know.
But mimi kuna mtu hata unipigie jua ikiwa hapa. Sitashika. So now I feel like that is the two differences. Like I had to get to a place where I was just like, why are we handling our relationships like this?
Yeah.
So anyway, today we're gonna be talking about
Different attachment styles. And if you're in the audience right now watching us and you don't know the different attachment styles, we think there are 4, but we're not. If you have a different opinion, please let us know down below in the comments. Even you guys for Spotify, let us know down in the comments below. So the 4 that we're familiar with is 1, secure, 2, anxious, preoccupied, which is one of us here. 3 is avoidant, because I think there's two different types of avoidant. So there's dismissive and fearful. And then the last one is disorganized, where you have a bit of anxious and avoidant at the same time.
Okay, so to give you a brief like overview of what those things are, first of all, the reason that we're able to talk about these things is because we've gone to therapy. Like,
we see the same therapist.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Dr. Eric.
Like, for real. Like, these are not things that we sat down and we're just like, mi nasikia ni kama mini. No.
These were things that are explained to us.
So that's why we're having this conversation, because like these are things that when you realize actually affect how you form your friendships, your relationships,
your family.
Like when you realize you're just like, kumbe sikongi tu mse sijali.
Yeah.
So to give you a brief overview of what these things are, secure is basically you grew up having, I don't want to say a normal childhood.
Content, like your
needs were met immediately.
Be it your parents, be it your siblings, be it your bringing up was just so cool.
Yeah.
Like you grew up in a good homestead.
Yeah, na si ati tunasema hao wengine hawaku grow up vizuri.
But like all your needs are met, be it emotional,
especially
be it financial.
Emotional.
Yeah.
So you never got to a place where you felt like, oh, this wouldn't happen, or this attachment styles form when you're a kid. Yeah.
That's what the internet says, is that mostly your upbringing and your childhood really affects your adulthood relationships and how you're attached to different people.
Yeah.
So secure, like she was saying, is people who grew up with things and
like, you're calm.
Too sour,
like,
bro.
Have you ever met those guys who are rational? Like when it comes to, okay, you're being emotional.
You're like, someone is like, let's take a step
let's take a step back and actually think about this logically. Unasikia kufanya mtu sitaki kufanya hivyo.
Mi nataka kujam. So wacha ni
jam. But like there are people who handle like properly, just know how to,
figure things
out. They're not scared of having confrontation, and if the confrontation escalates, they know how to manage it. Like those are people like naturally the flow is just flowing, like it's nice. Now
there is Kina Gigi Hapa presenting to you
the people like me,
anxious, preoccupied individuals.
For me, I can say that to some extent, like when I'm calm, I'm secure. Like when I'm calm, it's
when everything is going right, you're secure.
When everything is going okay, I'm very okay. So fine, we'll talk later. Nini. The minute there's a shift, I'm usually like,
I want to. What is going on?
What is going on? Like,
can I know? Yes.
Yeah.
Are we dying?
Plot. Where's the plot? Why is the plot thickening? Is this like?
Yeah.
So for me, it gets to a place where my anxiety kind of takes over. So it overrides my emotions. I'm just like, apana, Like, what did I tell you when we got upstairs? Why did you text me with so much fujo?
Yeah, and I was like, I didn't text you with so much fujo. Now you wanted me to call you babe.
Yes, I wanted you to call me
Hi.
babe.
No, I'm like, excuse me, do this and this and this and this. You took as if I'm shouting at you on the
Yeah,
text.
I'm like, why is this one yelling at me? And I swear to God, if I hadn't seen you, I'd have been like, uni, nini.
Mbona?
So I don't know. I don't mean, listen.
And that's how anxious attached
Attached
people
people
are.
handle,
They're
like
just
you-
always panicking.
You're actually always panicking.
Yeah, about anything and everything.
And it's really not willing. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. It's not a tea. I sit
she
here.
said it. I'm not gonna lie. Okay.
For you, like, sit down, danganya. It's not like I sit down and I'm just like, Leo, lazima no, it comes so naturally. I'll be somewhere and someone will, like, I'll call Camila and then she'll hang up and I'm like, okay. Then, like, 2 seconds later, I'll be like,
Insensibly call me again.
okay, that's a lie. Guys, I'm
Last
not sure. Do I
night?
look like I'm obsessed?
Last
Oh,
night.
That was different. That was so.
Wacha tu nisiandike mtu kwa hii
Zii.
show kwa sababu jana acha tu even have a conversation with my mother because Gadon is like
Nah. Actually, that's actually a great example.
Yeah.
Let me give you guys context. This babe, we were texting and she's like, I have tea. And I'm like, okay, give me the tea.
patiently wait for the tea.
Why would I? When you're on your phone?
I was, like I said, you see, as an anxiously attached person, she wouldn't be like, oh,
Yeah.
Kamire is just doing something, she'll text
I
me
will
back.
not. That's a secure person. A secure person would be like, okay, so attorney text, let him. Me, I'm just like, please, bored.
And then there's people like me who are avoidant, who, let me tell you something, before I bring that story up, we've crossed Mount Sijui Sinai, we've gone to Mount Zion,
Yeah.
and we came back. Then I'd be like, okay, so maybe what you did here kind of low-key bothered me. I still won't even say it
For real?
outrightly, like,
I don't even know what I'm saying for real. That's true.
yeah. So avoidant people ni wase wa kukanyagia, wase wa kusweep things under the rug. And it's low-key, in my opinion, I think everybody strives to be a secure, attached person.
Yeah, because
But
that's the most functional
yeah.
nini of a human being. Because
Yeah.
like if you're secure, you can work. Like there's so much that doesn't bother you
Yeah.
than when you're
Well, they do, but you just know how to handle
Handle
it.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last one is disorganized, where you're a bit of both, of anxious and avoidant. In some situations, you're like, let me just chill. And then in some situations, you're like, I'm going to panic. I'm going to die.
Yeah.
I need to die now. Like, for example, there was a person we were talking about how they act whenever in certain
so
situations.
In certain situations, like if they know there's no severe consequence, they'll be an avoidant. They'll be like, Panam just keep kongeleo story. When they know there are consequences, now they start like panicking. Like you want to cling on to this person, you want to be like, no. And then I feel like disorganized are like the farthest from secure because like that is a one version of the attachment styles that is extremely erratic. It changes so much, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't even need to be related to consequences. These guys are just hot and cold.
All the time.
Yeah.
Like you're just erratic.
Yeah. Today you're this, tomorrow you're this.
Okay. So okay, wait. Let me give context for avoidant with yesterday me texting you. So if it was Carmira and I had texted her that I have tea, she'd really have been like, okay. And waited for
Even
7
days.
years.
It's okay.
to
Like
be
whenever
like-
you're ready, babe.
You know what?
And I think like it can come off as patience, but like it's some sort of ignorance. Like Mr. Kupresha, like shida yako.
Wazi,
Like do it
sasa.
whenever you'll do it. It's okay. But when we were talking about this topic as well before, we had talked about its impact on our relationships, be it friendships, relationships, and family. How do you feel like being an anxiously attached person has... How do you navigate life, basically, as an anxiously attached person, but in relation to romantic relationships and all that?
It took me a really, really long time to figure out that I was an anxious attached person.
Do you think it was after therapy, or by the time you're going to
It was
therapy, you
after
already
therapy.
knew?
Though in my defense, like not in my defense, like the uni I went to, we used to have like therapy. So you could go, it was free. And me, I went out of curiosity. So my mom is a shrink. So in our home, therapy has never really been like a taboo.
Yeah.
So mi niliendanga out of curiosity. Actually, nikienda therapy mara yangu ya kwanza mi nilikuwa nadhani najua zile mashida naenda kuongelelea. Nilifika huko niko hapo me, I know what's going on.
You know what I used to I
Yeah.
used to think therapy was like a mind
Like hypnosis. Yeah.
like he can read my mind
yeah.
and know what I'm thinking about at that very instance.
But technically, I feel like therapists do actually know what you're thinking about. It's just that you can't see it. But him in his many, many degrees and many, many red books, he's just like, we're gonna shit up, but she's picking men because of... Anyway, so I took a really long time before I knew I was an anxiously attached person. Now, I'll start with when I actually found out. It hit me like a ton of bricks because I had never realized why I was the way I was in relationships. And let me, for context, define how I am in relationships. When I love you, I want to be around you all the time. I want to be around you all the time. So, yeah, we just had this conversation right now. Why you actually like your
I'm not even saying anything. Hata sinona sijasema hata kitu yote. Ameshaanza kuniua hapa. Like what's going on?
Like, I usually want to see you all the time. And it's really not because I don't have anything better to do. It's just that when I care about you, I just enjoy your company. Like, I love loving you. I will call you. I will want to know how you are. Like, I want to know if you're okay. And for a very long time, I didn't understand that other people did not have that same attachment. So it used to really bother me in relationships. So I would end up being in situations where people thought... I'll talk about it in relationships and friendships because I've gone through both. Because, like, there's a time... Okay, let me talk about relationships first. So I used to end up being in situations where I really like this person. It's not that I don't have anything else to do, but because the attachment style is not like mine, we keep clashing. There's someone whose attachment style is avoidant. So them, they like their space. They like being alone. They like doing this. Me, actually, I don't think I've ever dated anyone who's not an avoidant. And then now it's not good for an anxiously attached person to date an avoidant if you guys don't understand each other. Because for me, dating an avoidant looks like... I don't want to say... It looks clingy. Like for
It
them...
looks nagging.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
it
even
looks-
lie to you from an avoidant point of view. It does come across like that.
Yeah, and
not you, but like generally.
Which is 100% okay because I'm 100% sure that there are people who are like me. Like people who, when you're in a relationship, the person that you want to spend time with. And it's not just girls, like even guys. When the person that you want to spend time with is the person that you're with. Or like when you're really close to someone, you want to see them more often. Like when you don't see them, it like kind of bothers you. But it took a really long time for me to realize that not everyone is like that. And how they are is okay. So for me, initially, when I was younger, I used to think you have a problem. Like if you're not, like you, an avoidant, you can't communicate your emotions. You can't say there's something wrong. You can't just say this. I would be like, I don't understand. Like I didn't used to understand people at all, including in friendships. Like I always used to be like, just say, like nini inakushinda na kusema. So that has really impacted my relationships because a lot of times, and I'll say this, it's sad because I know why it happens. But like I have experiences in relationships where people thought that I could not live without them or I couldn't do without them or I was so in love with them. Whole time I'm just being myself. Whole time, that's how I am attached. Like that's how I'm attached to you. It's not that I can't live without you. It's not that I cannot be around other people. It's just that I like you. And at this point,
Do you think that's conflicting with quality time? Like love languages, I mean, sorry. Do you think your attachment style is going hand in hand with your quality time love language aspect? Because that's how it's coming across.
Because it is. How I developed having this anxious... We've had this conversation before and I was telling you, I think how I developed being an anxiously attached person was not from my parents. It was from my siblings. Me and my siblings have such a huge age gap. Such a huge age gap. When you're a child, you're like when you're born, like you're 5 and then your older brother is like 7. That makes sense. Like you won't feel like you're in the house together. Mkitoka shule mmetoka pamoja. I didn't have that. By the time I was 5, my oldest brother was 21. I technically could have been his child. Like Do you get the age gap was so big? But these are people like when you're growing up, you're in the house with them, you want to spend time with them. But these are adults, like these people have their own lives. So feeling like you can't have time with them, when you do have time with them, you want to cling
Cling on
onto
them.
it and be like, you know what, I want to spend time with you, I want to do this. But you're a child, you're 5. This person is 19, 18. What are you guys gonna talk about? And this is not to say that my brothers were not there for me. They were there for me in the biggest ways possible, but you're still a kid and you still want to have. Mi nilikuwa napendanga kwenda kwa wase wako na watoto ndo niende huko kucheza na wase. So now that's coupled with the fact that as an adult now, me lacking that quality time with them, for me to feel loved, you have to give me what I didn't get when I was a child. Because hugs, I was kissed. So physical touch is not going to cut it here. I was hugged, I was kissed, I was carried. Like, it's not going to be gifts because, like, you know, acts of service. Miss Juangi, I don't usually feel like people do things for me the way I want them done. So,
Okay. On this other end of avoidance, us guys in relationships we come off as bored most times. Or like, I don't have time for you. Like, I'll give it to you when I can. And when I can't, please understand. It can sort of seem like nishachoka na wewe even before the relationship begins. But in our end, for me, let me speak for myself, not for all avoidance. But like, me personally, I feel like I'm feeling overwhelmed. I don't even want to be there already. The thought of me spending time with you every day is already overwhelming me. I'd rather just, let's not spend time together at all. Not at all, but like not as much as, because even for me now, when it comes to love languages, quality time is not at the top of my list. Maybe physical touch, maybe words of affirmation, but not quality time. And when it comes to how I was brought up, I'm also a last born, but as much as Gadoni, you felt like anxiously attached to your siblings, I felt very independent, like I can do things on my own, and that's how it's always been. Not that my siblings have always made me feel like part of the gang, I'm part of the squad, but like our age gap is also very big. So I felt like anyways, their lives already moving on, might as well just do my own shit and get my own way. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. You just said that as an avoidant in a relationship, do you feel like you do it on purpose?
What?
That being
Bored.
I'll give you time if I want to. Do you feel like
If
you
you're a
do it on purpose?
manipulator, yeah, sure, you can do it on purpose.
Yeah, because maybe now I want you to
But
explain
like-
the difference.
But like it just comes so now. Like we're already so used to our space. We don't want people in our space.
Which is what I'm asking, yeah? Like in a situation where now you're in a relationship with someone. Like let's say you were dating me.
You're not doing it to spite the other person. It's just how you are. Like the way you calling the person every 2 minutes. Do you think you're doing it out of spite? No. You want to love this person however best you can. But us guys value our space so much that if somebody comes in, you feel like, no, me, I don't want you in my space like that. And I still stand on my heel for I'll want my own room when I get married.
Okay, let's
because
put a
I'm
pin on that.
so
We'll talk
used to my own space.
I feel like you should get your own room if you want to.
People think that's absurd.
I think it's
Like,
absurd.
how are you married and you have your own room?
I think it's absurd, but I also think that if you want to get your own room, you should get your own room.
If my husband says no,
As who?
as my husband. Like, and that's how it comes off. You see the way you think like, how can you want your own room in a marriage? Me, I'd want that. Because I'm already so used to my own personal space. It's not that I don't want to share it. I could, but not all the time. I just want my own.
So, in that regard, do you feel like between an anxiously attached person and a avoidant, a relationship could work?
If
'Cause
communication is
eventually-
there,
yeah.
yes. If you understand, like for example, us guys, forget relationships, friendships, platonic. Us guys, how does it work? You already know I suck at communication. You make the effort
Guys.
to.
Guys. Hey.
You don't need to spear my name. You
Nah.
don't need to spear my name on the internet.
No. Hey, mnasikia hapa nikiambiwa I call 2 minutes. I don't have a choice. Nisipopiga hiyo simu ni mimi na mashida zangu.
It's true. And I really wish I
Mind
could.
you, it's not like
And I
I'm calling
don't
to
know.
vent.
Yeah.
Like I'm calling because of
Why don't
biashara.
I make the effort? I don't know. I don't know. I can't explain it. It's just already me. I feel like I'm nagging when I make that phone call. So I'd rather just not make it.
But that doesn't make any sense.
But like again, as an anxious attached person and an avoidant, communication is key. Like if you don't know this person and how they move, you'll basically think they're always angry at you.
That's true.
Yeah. And them they're just in their own world, uko in Kiambu town, living their best life in their room, watching nerd YouTube videos. But like, she's like, oh, I hope Gadon is okay. I know.
Anyway.
The more we talk about it, the more you're like, damn, we're really, really not in sync. But we are in sync because we understand each other.
But to some extent, I feel like the relationship works better because we're not both anxiously attached.
Yes.
'Cause,
Imagine
like,
if we were
personally-
both anxiously
Yeah.
attached.
Or both avoidance. That would be crazy.
Like me and one of my friendships, I think it's lasted years and we've only spoken 3 times.
No,
'cause
like,
we are
it's
both
only me.
avoidant. Yeah.
Like, I feel like for me, I like loving avoidance. I'm not gonna lie. You guys are a hoot.
You like making the effort. You like
I
running
like
around.
it.
You
I
like chasing
Like,
people.
I like loving you.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to feel
Loved.
loved. Like, for real. Because if nothing else, I do that for you. If I
You
don't do
do.
anything else, that is something I do.
That is
and
true.
the reason that I feel like that is because, like, sometimes I feel like I've experienced people who are avoidant or so closed off that it becomes difficult for them to let people in, and then you're sad and suffering alone. Like, I remember there's a time that you were really sad and it used to bother me. I remember
I couldn't talk about my problems
Yeah, and-
because I'm not used to.
and I would call and I'm like, are you okay? Do you want me
like,
to
yeah,
come?
I'm okay.
Do you want me to see you? Do you want me to do this? But I feel like everyone needs to have someone who cares about them like that. Like, so me, when you're a part of my life, it doesn't really bother me that you're an avoidant who doesn't like being called. Usinidharau though, juni taachana na wewe. But like, I don't really mind you being in a space where you want someone to talk to you, like someone to leave you alone or someone, because
Yesterday was one of those days. Like yesterday, I feel like I was so much under pressure. But then I was like, every time you called me, I was like, yeah, I'm just a little bit stressed. I was a lot stressed.
and I text you and I'm like, are you okay?
Yeah, I'll get over it. And you'll notice avoidants come to talk about their problems later on after they've already jumped that hoop.
So now me, I feel like as a person, I like having friends. I have both. I have friends who are very, forward with their communication. And then I have people like you who are very,
People like you. What?
and when it comes to avoidance, I just usually feel like, you're my problem now.
Fix it.
Like-
This is my fish.
Yes, you're...
This is my fish. I'll resuscitate my fish.
resuscitate it. Like,
Yeah.
cause like, sijui, mnakuanga uko na mashida zenyu mmenyamaza,
Hiyo ndio
mmefura.
tumezoea ku deal with things on our own.
Yeah, so I feel like that's what makes me attracted to you people. I really feel like you don't have to do it alone. I'm just like, come, I can help you, please.
Yeah, come,
Yeah,
I'll
so
be-
kau kana character, bebe, si character
It
could
takes
date
work.
ovyo.
Hai, we,
First
wacha
of
hizo,
all.
wacha hizo. I feel like it takes a lot of work to really build a stable relationship. Like if you're on both opposite ends of this spectrum.
But the goal is always to be walking towards the middle. It's for me to try be less anxious and you to try being less
More present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can't be at I'm walking to you.
It's true.
it
But you'll
can't-
find most times
Yeah,
it's
'cause
the
like, I feel
anxious
like even-
person walking to the avoidant. It's never the other way around.
But do you know what? Surprisingly, Camila, you don't stress me as much.
Because even you have learned to know that, if I do this, it'll make her react like this. Let me lessen this behavior, be more present. See, sometimes I surprise you in the middle of the week. I'm like, hi, what's up? I'm not even calling about the pod. I just want to know how you're doing.
When you have Camila to stress you out. Why are you talking? Why are you talking to me like you're like,
Call me.
do you know what that sounded like?
What?
It sounded like that situation where you have a boyfriend who only calls you once a
On
week.
Mondays.
Hey, Jesus. I can't
Monday
get-
come up me too. So yeah, I feel like for us, for real, this friendship, it's taken a lot of work. Secure attached people, please, we want to be friends with you as well. Just we want to see how the other side of life
looks
how
like.
good it can get.
Yeah.
But I feel like since we started going for therapy, I haven't gone for therapy in a minute, but when I was going for therapy, Dr. Eric would actively give me pointers on how to lessen my not showing up for people or my avoidant characteristics. We're like, oh, you can try. See, after you make that call, you usually feel nice. I'm like, yes. So maybe try make those calls 3 times a day or 3 times a week or something. And
Now he's pushing my being
like, calm down,
Achana
calm down, calm
natu.
down, calm down.
For me, I think he's making it more clear that I really don't need to be there for you if you're not being there for me. And it sounds mean.
No,
really
it
sounds-
doesn't.
Yeah,
you
it
really
sounds-
also you.
Yeah.
Aside from this attachment theory thing, you also constantly need to learn how to put yourself first.
Yeah, so now I feel like that's what I'm doing.
You
because-
rarely do.
Really?
Me, I will put you guys die. Me, I will put myself first.
Ah,
No
Mimi.
mistake about that.
Mimi, now I'm learning to just be like, Yoshidako.
Not my monkey.
No,
Not my circus.
that phrase, and you're not gonna stress me.
You're not gonna stress
Is
me.
really starting to be my nini.
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't even know. As an anxious person, he's really pushing it in my head to be more conscious of how people are treating me versus how I want to treat them. Because
Yeah.
now that also brings me back to like when I was younger, I couldn't tell because I loved you so much. I couldn't tell that you're not being present and there for me. Like I couldn't tell. I'm like, but me, I like you. So come, you're my fish, you're my pet. I will take care of you.
Yeah.
So I used to have that, and it used to be so stressful. And I feel like it's not just even from relationships, even friendships. I used to be in situations where I'm giving and giving and
And see you're slowly stemming out of it though.
I am.
I think so.
Yeah. You're helping as well, to be honest.
What? How?
Pushing me out of the
Yeah.
hey, you're really helping. You're just like Gadani, achana na your sister yako.
Sister yako, bro.
Achana na.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is this
You
normal?
don't know. You feel like this is a bit deep. It's deep. We brought you to the deep side, to a letter deep end. Yeah. One thing I want to touch on, one last thing is, how do you feel like your attachment styles affect your work relationship in terms of teamwork and in terms of leadership?
Wow. Oh, wow. So
Thought provoking.
it is thought provoking, but I feel like when it comes to work, yeah, me, I like my work done a certain way. That puts me in a. I don't mind working in teams, but if I'm working in a team, it really truly has to have like a lot of communication and active teamwork. I don't like being in spaces like even when I'm not leading the team, I don't like being in spaces where my opinions wouldn't be heard or stuff like that, because I take my ideas very personally. And the reason I take my ideas very personally is because I really think about them. Like, sikwangi msewa kuamka asubuhi
Also,
niseme.
you guys are overthinkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So now imagine, naturally, even without work, I'm an overthinker. So now imagine how long I've taken to think about like an idea.
How do you do with deadlines?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm very, very, very good at deadlines.
You require deadlines?
No.
You can do work without deadlines.
Actually, I prefer you not to talk to me. Don't tell me. Like, I'm the type of person who, if you tell me peleka kitu kitchen, utani irritate. Let me think. I'll do it on my own. Trust me. Trust you, me. I've thought about. That thing you think I've not thought about, I've already thought about. That thing you think for, but the meeting is on Monday. Girl, I know that meeting is on Monday. Like, I've thought about it. Don't make me your problem. So me, I don't like that. I don't like it. I really also don't know how to manage people who don't know that I should not be micromanaging you. Like, if I have to keep following you around, you frustrate me. Because Mimi already akili yangu, I think you've seen it. There's a time we were brainstorming and I had like a surge of ideas and I was like,
like, calm down,
fuck.
babes.
Like, so me, my mind is already moving at that pace. And then I have to now come and now start doing your work. You will annoy me. I like saying, okay, fine, I need this done. This needs to be done by tomorrow. And I trust that you will do it. When I have issues with people not doing it, I tend to go fast to a person who I can vent to. Because if I come directly to you, it's going to be a problem. Not going to be very nice. But I tend to dilute it. Like I dim it down and I'm just like, okay, fine. This hasn't happened. This isn't going to work. What's the solution? What can I do at this point? Nini, nini. I think about it. By the time I'm coming to you to tell you, Manibo, it's a very minimal nini. So I think being anxiously attached in my life means I'm also anxiously attached to my work. Meaning like I become so personal with it such that when it's not flowing how it's supposed to be flowing or when my ideas are not being received, you block my head. Like I feel like unani overwhelm.
For me, when it comes to working, I don't work well in a team. I'm a lone ranger. I prefer working by myself. And my workplace, my 9 to 5, has really challenged
Yeah.
It's really challenged my leadership skills because I'm in a leadership position.
Yeah.
I find it very hard to manage people because I don't like repeating myself. I won't mind it, but I also don't want to come back to you with the same thing. Pia mimi as your boss, I feel like ana kubo. Sidai kukubo. See, I've hired you for this job and you've proven to me you can do it. I'll let you fuck up. And then I'll come back later and tell you, okay, you fucked up and this is what I didn't like. That's my red flag when it comes to being an avoidant who's a leader. Because now I pile up more and more issues. Then I'll come and tell you when the bottle is overflown, like, oh, ulianza kunibo 1900s, by the way. I just didn't mention it.
Me sinangayo. Kamira, and you know I don't have it.
Yeah.
I'm usually just like, nah. This isn't how I wanted this to be done. This shouldn't have been done like this. I feel like you should have done this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, but Nini, I'll be like, no. And this is how you're going to fix it. Because by the time I'm coming to you with this problem, I know how you're going to fix it. Now, for me, the difference is you won't say. Me, immediately you start fucking up. Immediately you start, like, if I can smell the fuck up before it happens, I'm gonna tell you about that. I'm gonna be like,
you don't want to
bro,
give them time to
for
like
what?
redeem
I
themselves.
don't have to, like, you see, the thing is now, this is probably now I need to learn how to just
chill,
like let it go.
Yeah.
But the thing is, by the time like we're working together, if we're working on a project, if we're working on this, systematically kwa akili yangu nishaona venye inafaa kuwa ikikaa. Because like the first stage of any project is a brainstorm. Nimekuambia kenye nataka.
You think that's your standards are too high or you're anxiously attached?
Mimi, I feel like I don't know. But if it's work, why are my standards supposed to not be high?
I don't know.
Which is now, it ends up putting me in a position where, especially when I'm not in a position of leadership, and my field of work is very creative. My field of work is very, very creative. It ends up being harder to be led because like if I have to keep like fuataing you, my creativity stops. Now I'm just like fanyeni kenya mnataka. Now it gets to a place I'm like nimewape ideas. I've told you what could work. You're not listening to me. Then just do what you want.
I want to push you one step back. Hey, I want to push you one step back and tell me, how does the way you're attached, how does it affect your mental health? This is like a closing, parting, short thing.
For me, it affects my anxiety. Like I
feel like you're anxious a lot? Depressed?
Nah.
Low self-esteem?
Nimesema nika manze watu wa depression. But depression, no. Being depressed, no. My mind is usually too active to to be feeling like it's stuck. Because even the minute that I feel stuck, like I was telling you today how I felt, like I feel like bummed and stuff. The minute I feel stuck, I will talk about it. I'll be like, there's something wrong. Because my mind is consistently moving, like killer, so I'm trying to figure out what could be making me feel bad. Am I feeling bad because of Kamira? Am I feeling bad? Because that's how my brain is moving consistently. I rarely have space to be depressed. However, anxiety, I do have space to be anxious. I mean, I would say I've gone as far as having panic attacks, but that was like way before I figured out like I was anxiously attached. Before I started going to therapy, I used to I'm like, this isn't working. Like I'm stressed, I'm panicking, and then it would just end. So I think for my mental health, being anxiously attached probably spikes my anxiety. But I think that's as far as it goes. But like, what about you?
Being an avoidant and an overthinker, I live in my head a lot. It leads to depressive episodes where I will not come and ask you that question, but I will live in my head about, but what if this is what they're thinking? Or maybe no, this is what
really?
they're thinking, but I will not ask that question. So I will play out that scenario in my head till the end and I'll be like, okay.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. And it really affects my relationships because there's things I should have talked about that would have been easily solved, but I will live in my head about it and I will not bring it up. I'd rather die with it.
Now it affects me the other way when it comes to relationships in a way that for me, I will talk about everything. I'll be like, I don't like how you spoke to me there. I don't like what you said there. This can happen
Now.
yeah. And what helps me as I grew older is realizing, is this really important? Like ataka alionge vibaya pia ulimwambia hivi. So when I started now saying that in my head, I stopped nitpicking at I started being like, okay, no, let's observe what he's doing, or let's observe what she's doing, or let's see what's gonna happen. So I feel like that also contributed to lessening my anxiety, taking a step back and being like,
Yeah.
should I know? So that's contributed to my anxiety. So probably you can just start blurting them out before you start overthinking. And something pisses you off, just be like, "Blah."
I wish.
Just
I wish I
say-
could.
Just
I really wish I could.
termite.
But we are in agreement that therapy has helped you. Well, we're advocating for therapy in this episode, if you haven't realized. Yeah. I feel like everybody goes to therapy to make themselves better, maybe even be a securely attached individual. But yeah, however, what you take from therapy is on you. For me, that's what I do or what I look forward to in therapy.
Me, to be honest, na feeling nanga therapy kupiga story na umse because I feel like atanipea logical advice. Huku nje si wote tumechizi. Nyinyi staki yenyu. Yenyu ibambi. I want to go to therapy and niambie, have you thought about doing this?
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, the last thing I want to ask you is, do you feel like this attachment styles change depending on the situation you're in?
Most definitely. I don't think I've always been an avoidant. I feel like I was an anxiously attached person, then moved into a disorganized kind of vibe, then now I'm just an avoidant. Like now I just, whatever comes, guys. Me, hapo ndio mali life imenifikisha. You?
Even me, I think that's the same. Because like, if you knew me like 2018, 2019, I don't think I even had one attachment styles. I think I was like, have you seen the movie Split?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
I think I had like all of them. Like nilikuwa tu kila mahali.
Yeah.
That's a phase of my life where I'm just like,
Yeah.
it was not giving.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. It was a little deep. It's not the banter you're used to, but like, so sometimes let's
be honest,
changamsha your brain.
I feel like, to be honest, you guys are going to get so many of these episodes in this podcast because the goal is not for us to always just be laughing here.
Yeah, we're serious people sometimes.
The goal is really for you to figure out that for sure, guys, there are so many things that contribute to who you are as a person. It's not
That's
just that I went to what school. I'm a I'm a doctor. No. There's so many things that contribute to how you make decisions and why you form certain relationships and why you keep dating the same type of person over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
And why your friendships work or they don't work, or why you're friends with just last bones.
Last bones.
So-
Skew in a cam. Don't worry. You'll have your 15 seconds of fame.
So I feel like this episode is one of the many that are dedicated to us realizing that we're such multifaceted human beings. Like,
We are.
and your phases in life are so dynamic and so different. Like how
Yes.
you are as a child, how you are as a teenager, how
Yeah.
you are as a young adult. They're so different, and all of this contribute to who you are. So sometimes, like me, like I said, 2018, 2019, I was disorganized as fuck. There's a time in my life I was so ashamed of being like that. Right now, I'm just like, wow, I didn't even have the capacity to be processing emotions any differently. Guys, I'm sorry. Mnataka kunijudge? Ay, poleni. Like, and this was one of the episodes where you guys got to hear what we go through in our friendship.
Yeah. Stay tuned on our Instagram page and TikTok, maybe. We'll post a link on the test we took to know
yeah.
how we are attached. Maybe you guys can take it with your friends, your family. You can get to learn so much about the people in your area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Na mkizilan msizikwamilia ati na
Hey, this is how I am. This is how I will always
that's
be.
not what we're proper.
No.
Please.
Yeah.
You're not those things, but they do contribute to how you are in life.
Yes.
Anyway, bye guys.
See you later.
We love you so much. Like,
Me, I love
share.
you more.
Hey.
Like, share, subscribe, tell your ex, tell your grandma, tell your pastor.
Bye guys.